Hello again YouTube, and welcome back to Just Get a Tesla. And on today's video I'm sat in the back of my Tesla Model Y, and it's a nice environment to sit. I have done multiple hour journeys in the back. I have even been able to work in the back with the huge amount of space. There's one thing that's missing, and that is the ability to be able to set the heating the way that you want it, to be able to turn on the seat heating controls, and basically have access to the entertainment system. Tesla have fixed this omission on the new Model 3 Highland, but if you've got an older car, you're stuck without it. Or are you? So what we have here is a box from my friends at Hansshow, which is going to install a screen in the back of my Tesla Model Y. So I've just sliced this open so that we can have a look. And okay, we have got a nice premium looking box inside the other box. Okay, we've taken the top off, piece of foam, warning and disclaimers, and also an installation manual, which I'm guessing I need to look up because they haven't put something into the box. But then you can see inside, basically we have got a nice screen unit. So when we pull the bits of foam off, yeah, we have basically got a bag full of tools and some wires. And then we have got the screen itself. So that really is a big old screen. And you can see, you know, it's taking the airflow, move my sleeve out of the way, it's taking the airflow basically and rerouting it. So instead of having the vents where they are, they're going to be even lower down than that. And again, you've got a pair of USB-C holes, the same as you have on the standard one. Okay, so what I think I need to do is to get into the back and have a look at the installation manual. Okay, I've moved into the back and I have had a look at the instruction manual, which most of which is fairly straightforward, which is basically you're removing essentially all of this and plugging the screen in. We have got a bag full of things which we're going to open up and have a look at, and as you can see, the screen is basically sat there waiting to go on. So we have got a nice fat wiring harness ready to go in. We have got a prying tool for prying, and we have got a USB-A to USB-C adapter. All right, I don't know why. And we've also got well, it's like a blanking plate or something. So okay, let us start going into this one step at a time. I'm going to go and get the laptop and let's see what it says. Okay, so one thing it hasn't told me to do before I get started, but surely is a sensible thing to do, is to turn the car off. Surely you want to actually turn the car off before you start faffing around with power. So anyway, now that we have done that, it's basically telling me I've got to remove this, and I assume that's what the prying tool is for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shunt both of the front seats as far forward as they will go, and then let's get the camera set up. Here we go then. So step one, remove the rear air conditioning trim panel cover. I assume there's clips in here somewhere. Oh, hang on. That clipped off. Hang on. That's exciting. Oh. Yes, that's just come apart there. So is there one over this side? Eventually. Yes, there is. Yes. Okay. And then I'm assuming there'll be one underneath. Hey! Right, that has come off finally. Ugh, that was well, that wasn't easy to start with. Oh lordy lordy, what are we doing? Right, okay, what's next? Pull the plug out of the charging module and put the emergency. Okay, right, fine. This is to isolate the power, I assume. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Right, so the next one is we need to remove what it calls the anti-kick panel, which is the one at the very bottom. Give me a pop. You know what? It's exactly the same as the other one. How can I put this? Tesla, they're really well put together. These things are properly bolted on or clipped on, which is great until you're trying to vandalise your own car. Aha! Yep, okay. Yes, we've got it now. Basically, I'm popping at the corners. Come on. There we go. Does that now just pull away? Yes. Okay. Right. So, a bit of persistence is needed with the old prying tool. But it did come off. Eventually. Okie dokie. So, unscrew 2 fixing screws. Have you given me a screwdriver in the little bag? No, ma'am. Right. Okie dokie. I had better go and find a screwdriver then. And it says tools required. I thought they might actually have just put a little one in or something, but no. All right, back in a second. Let's go and first of all see what kind of screw is that. Let me have a look. Okay, it says the next piece is to remove this, and it literally just shows it being dragged or pulled firmly by the gloved technician on the videos. Well, okay, yeah. I was about to say it's not quite as simple as that, but no, apparently it is. Okay, so yeah, that's literally just popped out. Just checking that we haven't snapped anything. No, we haven't. Right. Now that we have got all of that out of the way, this little blue tab here which needs to come out, you might be thinking, how do I get this off? It's actually that bit of plastic there pushes in, and if you just literally stick your thumb on it and give it a wiggle with both hands, it comes off. So that now will wiggle its way off, yeah? So what we need to do is we're basically going to bridge across so that this is now plugging into there, and this is getting plugged into there. I'm not quite sure how all the wiring is going to go from a positioning perspective, but it is literally just a question of clicking it into place. Right, I'm going to go and put the camera down just for a second while I do that and get it neat, okay? At this point, I've gone back over the installation instructions again, and I figured out that actually, despite it saying go and run a wire to the front seats and then create some kind of magical massage control, the wire isn't actually in the box, because of course my car doesn't have front seat massage. So I'm not sure why it's in the instructions, but you can just skip that bit because there's literally that piece missing, which is good. So that is the current state of play. It's absolute vandalism. I will be entirely honest. I'm always a little nervous pulling at the thing, right? A little nervous. But now's the fun bit, because we get to test the new screen and plug it in for the first time. Right, okay, so prepare the screen, it says. So basically there is, on the back of the screen, on the back of the screen, you have got a power connector, and there's also a, you see the white connector? There's a white connector in there, and the white connector basically goes onto this. So we are going to, sorry, this is quite, how can I put this? This is quite difficult to film, and even with the fact the camera's over there, I can't look over there because my neck won't turn far enough, but never mind. So that, I think, must go that way up. Sorry, just bear with me for a second. There's a satisfying click. And I'm guessing this bit just clicks into place like that. Okay, so insert power plug to the screen socket. Now, I'm guessing the reason why nothing is happening is because at the moment the car is switched off, and I think from an electrical safety perspective that's probably a good thing. But let's go and stick the foot on the brake pedal and turn it back on. Do I even need to put the foot on the brake pedal, or is it just going to come on? Oh, hey, can you see that? Yes, you can. So it does suggest that you test it first before you then actually install it. So we are going to test a variety of different things on this thing, just basically to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So the most obvious thing to do, I suppose, on this is let us... okay, so the fan settings here that it's just come on, hang on, you can't see that. So the fan settings, given that it's not plugged in to the actual fan, that bit at the moment isn't going to work. But what about bum heaters? How about we do that? So I'm sat here, I've now turned the bum heaters on. Can I feel the bum heaters getting warm? We'll have to give it a minute. But as you can see, it's 4:28 AM, so we definitely would want to get them on there. Right, is that doing anything? Well, I think it might be. Tell you what, let's put the centre one on, because that one's fairly easy. I just put my hand on the centre one and have a feel. Yeah, it's definitely getting warm underneath my bottom, which is always a good thing. Let's feel for the one in the centre and feel for that one coming on. But at the moment, that is at least interacting with the car, which is what you want to happen. You know what? The centre one's quite slow, but it is getting warm. Right, okay, so bum warmers, they are working. So if they're working, that means that the Hansshow screen is also working. So for the first time ever, I have got controls in the back of my car, and just to turn them off is exactly the same as the other one. Just basically keep tapping it until it, no, stay off. Yeah, that's getting quite warm now. Right, okay, fine. So we have got, well, the fan speed obviously from here, we can't change that because of where we are, but it will get plugged in a minute. We have got bum warmers, we have got, so the seat movement thing won't happen because of the fact that I haven't actually got the cable for that, which is absolutely fine. I think that controls the music, which is a terrible idea, but probably a good idea. And then you've got a variety of other things in here, Netflix, YouTube. I don't know what local video is. I'm guessing that's played off a stick, and then of course tick of talk. So at this point, I think it's probably quite useful to point out the things that are missing from the instructions. So now that we have tested the screen, it quite literally shows the screen being installed back into place, and then it says installation complete. No, because I have still got that and that and I assume both of those two screws, which actually need to go on first. And of course there is no guidance at all as to which order they need to go for. Yeah, that's a bit annoying when you've got basically a car that's just a load of panels that have popped off and wires that are shoved everywhere. Something that tells you in which order to shove the wires would be quite helpful. Well, I'm going to tell you now in which order to do it by trial and error. I've had to go on to super wide on the camera basically so that you can have a prayer of seeing this. So, okay, this was just one connector. Now it's two. So I'm guessing I need to stack them. It doesn't tell me. I'm guessing I need to stack them. So I'm going to have to get the kicker plates back on and hope that that actually covers where that goes. The second thing, of course, is I have to put the two screws in for the big centerpiece. So clearly that one needs to go on first, I think. So I'm assuming I need to run all of the wires, and I'm guessing that this used to connect to the back of the display. Not the display, there wasn't a display. This used to connect to the back of the fan for the USB-C holes. I'm guessing this just needs to be hidden somewhere behind here. Yeah, that actually has got screw holes in it. Okay, so I'm guessing that this, I mean, it doesn't actually tell me. I'm assuming that this wire, which is this one here, which is the wire for the thing, that has to go up inside it, surely to God. But it doesn't tell you what to do with the wires. Yeah, it just doesn't tell you what to do with the wires, or in which order you should be actually tucking them away. So I'm now trying to work out. Maybe what I need to do is to put the screen on first, and then worry about the other wires later. I do wish it told you though. It would just make life a whole lot easier. Similarly, I don't know where to route the wires inside it to go away from all of these clips. It doesn't tell you. Okay, by a process of elimination, I have got the wires basically not on the top and dangling down the bottom, and kind of lining that up there, and then looking at it, there are holes. Can you see that there's a hole just about? There are, well, I say holes, there's a gap to run a wire through. Basically make sure you got the wire in the gap on that side and again on that side, and then by the look of it, it's just kind of not quite blunt force trauma to shove it on, but not far off it. I can now feel air coming onto here, which is good. So hold on, let's have a go at this. Okay, that is now mounted. It's still floppy at the bottom, but it's floppy at the bottom because none of the other pieces are in there. So that's the first piece of the jigsaw. Put the screen on and put the cables through the gaps basically to there. So that is all molding. It's supposed to be like that, but put the cables through there. Yeah, right. I'm guessing the next bit has to be to put the center console on, because this is the one that's got the holes in the bottom. So I'm gonna have to put the phone back down for a second while I again try and work out where I'm gonna route all these cables. Right, I have news. So the screen is on, but this won't go on because the screen is on, because of the design of these clips. So they are actually going to need, the screen is going to have to come off, and that's going to have to go oh my God. All right, well, first of all, can we turn that fan off in the back, please? Because that would be really helpful. Right, okay. You know what? Of all of the bits of this job, this is the worst, because we've run out of instructions. It literally doesn't tell you in which way you're supposed to reassemble it. It just says installation complete. Well, it isn't. Right, okay, let's keep going. What I'm now thinking is, right, maybe actually I need to do the kicker plate on the bottom. No, the kicker plate came off first. The screen, right. On the previous one, the vents came off first, the kicker plate was second, and then the big piece was third. So that's the order it needs to go in. The big piece, then the kicker plate, then the screen. Okay, let's have a go. Right, I've just kind of budged this sort of back into place. The clips on the bottom still need to be done because that wire there still needs to be shoved in. But I'm just kind of thinking, is that sort of the way that it wants to go on? Again, not entirely sure. Let me have a go at neatening the thing up at the bottom and getting the screws in and see if that does it. Okay, and I've got this basically with the wire going up through a hole. There is a hole there, and then I've got all of the other wires basically threaded through there. So I think I need to put the screen on next to make sure that that's lined up. Yeah, although I am looking at this, there's poppers there. The screen must just hang. Let's have a look. Okay. So again, yes, we have got on the OEM part, you've got, see the gold poppers which are designed to go into those holes there. This doesn't have those, so I'm guessing it just kind of sits in. All right, well, I'm going to try and shove that on a little bit better because that still doesn't quite look to be as neat a job as it was before, and then I'm going to have a go at getting the screen onto there. No, I've got it wrong. There are poppers. Look, there are, if you can just about see them, there are poppers in the corner which will go into there. So we are back to needing to get the all of the wires arranged into here, yeah, so that they are clear of the unit and clear of the poppers. Okay, let me have a think about this one. Maybe, what if I was to route them, I could route them both up here. Basically, I'm thinking I could route them both through the top and then run that around there, maybe like that. Is that what we need to do? It's not clear. Okay, I have got that in now. I need to do the plate on the bottom. That is now in, so it's basically, how could I put this? The wire that connects to the back of the screen gets fed basically into the gap into here, and then it's just running the wires, and I couldn't film it because it was difficult enough to do without trying to film it, but you're basically running the wires either side of the popper on either side of this and as far in as you can, so that hopefully that is actually then pushed in, and that is, yeah, that's on and it's pretty solid now. So finally that bit's on. So after a brief argument, the kicker plate here did go back on, but it's a little bit pregnant basically because you've now got the extra sets of wires and things behind there. But now everything is done and in, it is quite a neat install. And if you want to get one of these for your car, then use the affiliate link below and use my discount code JGAT to get 20% off this screen, which I think is a really good deal. Again, I get lots of requests to review products and I say no to most of them because I know there are all kinds of iffy products out there. Hansshow is one of the really good manufacturers. There's a lot of reviews that say positive things about them. I actually think this is one of the neater rear screens that I have seen, and certainly it seems to do the part. So 20% off if you put JGAT into their store and use the code on the screen. So please tell me in the comments, what do you think? Do you actually think you need a screen in the back? I wasn't entirely sure I did until I started sitting in the back of my car doing work. Okay, this is install work and videoing, but I've sat in the back on the motorway doing work, and now I've got, where's the thing? There. I've got access to the controls, which is definitely an improvement. So you're not likely to be working in the back of the car as I am, but you might have kids who travel in the back and they need to be entertained, and now you can do with the screen. Or you travel regularly with passengers and they want it a bit colder or a bit warmer than it is in the front. Get one of these screens, 20% off using the code, and then you've got access to all of that. So there it is, guys. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? And I will see you back here very soon on Just Get a Tesla.